What's up guys, it's Nathan from Phantom EDC. Hope you're all well. I've not been able to upload for a few weeks, but I've been a bit busy with work and that, but I've been doing a month-long review on this Sog Powerpint. So jumping straight into it, I've been carrying this more or less every single day since I've got it. It's always been in my pocket and I'm really happy with it actually. Although I have had to make a few modifications to it just to make it UK street legal carry and a couple of other little bits. I think I might actually prefer it to my Leatherman Micra and my Squirt PS4. The only thing what was holding it back really is that it's not really UK legal carry, but I've fixed that issue. So looking at it compared to the Squirt PS4 and the Micra, you can see that it's noticeably bigger, but you can just about still fit it in your fifth pocket, or even when it's in your ordinary pockets you barely notice it's there. So just going over the box, there's nothing really much to say about it. It feels pretty well made. So on the back it's just telling you the different features what it's got. It's got some needle nose pliers, soft wire cutters, scissors, an inch rule, a bottle opener, Phillips screwdriver, a serrated blade, can opener, file, hook cutter, a millimeter ruler, a straight edge blade, a wire crimper, a protractor, a bolt gripper, and even a magnetic bit holder. So the open length is 5 inch, the closed length is 3.2 inch, and the weight is 4.2 ounce. The finish is stonewash, which I love, and the blade steel is 5CR 15 MOV. So just getting into it, the first mod, what I kinda did, but my friend made it for me, was these little thumb studs. You can print them off of Thingiverse, but if you've not got a 3D printer, you could easily just make it out of a little bit of wood and super glue it in, or anything really, but it does make a nice difference to be able to open them a lot easier. One little issue what I kept coming into was when there was in my jeans pocket, they'd open by themselves. So I got a little magnet and I super glued it, and it just seemed to just hold it perfectly, but also was still quite easy to open. Yeah, it's really smooth. I put a little bit of oil in it and yeah, it works a dream. So the next mods I did was turning the blades and the scissors into slip joints. I did actually mess the scissors up and I've kinda broken, but I'll show you that soon. Yeah, so all I did was just get my Dremel and I just very carefully just took little bits of material away from where the blades and stuff catch, where it'd usually just lock into place, but you just kinda rounding that edge over a little bit so it can kinda like snap out of the lock, if that makes sense. The only tools I did this on is the ordinary blade, the serrated blade, the scissors, and the awl, because that awl is really good, and it's like a blade in itself. So I just thought, just to be on the safe side, I'll make it a slip joint. It's got a really simple but quite strong pocket clip, nice Sog logo on it. Only thing what could make it a little bit better is if it was deep pocket carry. Going on to blade, it's just under 2 inch, so it's well within the UK legal carry limit, and I've also turned it into a slip joint as well, so there's no issues there. As alls go, this is probably the best one I've got on my multi-tools. It's razor sharp and it's really sturdy, so you can get through any material really. Next is the jewellery driver. I must admit I've not really used this as a screwdriver yet. I've used it as like a very light pry bar, or maybe to just get little things from out of places, but yeah, I suppose it comes in handy. So to get the tools back in, you have to press the black spring and it'll allow you to put it back in the multi-tool. But I found a little cheat. If you open any of the other tools, it'll open the back spring just enough so you can pop the other tool back in. Man, that was a tongue twister. I still get socially awkward even though I'm sat here on my own speaking into a microphone. What am I like, eh? So going on to the hook cutter now. I have actually used this a couple of times, mainly when you know, like sellotapes all clumped together on boxes. It goes through it really nicely. I did just go over it as well with my file just to give it a little bit of a, I don't know, like a little bit of a scraper edge to it, just in case. I suppose you could use it as a slight pry bar onto the file. Yeah, I've used this quite a bit and it's really decent. It's about a third bigger than the file what you get on the Squirt PS4, so big difference. It's got a coarse and a very coarse side, and then you can also use it on the edge and use it to kind of saw with. On the other side of the multi-tool you've got the serrated blade. Comes very nice and sharp out of the box. And I can't really say that for the can opener because it come very blunt out of the box, and I've seen a lot of people saying the same thing. But what I did, I got my file and I put a nice little edge on it, and it's nice and sharp now and pierces through cans, no issues. With the Phillips, I've used it a few times but not much, but yeah, it's pretty sturdy and no complaints. So with a bottle opener, you're going to have to excuse it, it's a bit of a work in progress still. It looks it looks quite scruffy, but I'm basically just going to turn it into a nice little flathead slash pry bar, but it's taken me quite a while to do it with a hand file. I want to grind it down to where about my thumb is there, just at the widest point, just so I can get a bit of extra coverage. Looking at the paw scissors now, my fault. You can see the slip joints like really easy to do, and I could have probably got away with it as the only scissors, but because it's a bladed item and it locked in place, technically it's still not really UK legal carry. I didn't actually get any footage of me using the scissors before I broke them, but I'd say there was probably about the same as what you'd see on the Wave. I really like the mechanism of these pliers, they've definitely got a fidget factor to them. So you've obviously got your needle nose pliers along with your bolt grippers, and then you've got some nice little wire cutters below them. It's also got a little protractor, which I didn't notice at first, I must admit. And one of my favourite features about this multi-tool is the magnetic bit holder. You can put any 1/4 inch bit into it and use it like a screwdriver. So I've got this practice bit of wood. It is a strop what I made, but I kind of did it a little bit wrong, so it's my test piece for today. Just going to put the bit in and start with a small screw. I will just fast forward it a little bit because it does take a while to get going. Yeah, when the screw actually got some purchase on it, then yeah, it was pretty easy to turn, especially with a smaller screw. You just have to make sure you're squeezing the multi-tool together quite a lot because it does want to open up. So moving on to the bigger screw, you can notice that it is a lot harder, but it's still doable. Onto the large screw now. As you can see in a minute, this one really does struggle. I actually thought I snapped the tool then, but it turned out I didn't. It was just that I wasn't holding it hard enough. So yeah guys, that about wraps it up. What do I think about this multi-tool? I think it's amazing, to be honest with you. I think it's just in the perfect middle ground between like the Wave and the Micro. It's just that perfect size, I guess. Just want to say thanks again to everyone who subscribed and supporting me. Almost at 100 now guys, I know, crazy. So until the next time, peace.